Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, dear listeners. Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 17. Welcome back to Legal Conversation. This is episode 17 of the podcast. In the last episode, we started discussing the NDLEA Act, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Act. We discussed their establishment, their functions under Section 3 of the Act, special powers of the agency under Section 4, and so part of the special powers is to cost investigation to be launched into whether any person has committed a crime under the Act, and blah blah blah. We also discussed the powers of the Attorney General to issue general policy guidelines and directives, to the agency, and also directive as regards a particular matter. We also discussed one or two offences under the Act. We spoke about importation of cocaine, LSD, heroin, occupiers' unlawful use of premises. Occupier permitting those who unlawfully permit their premises to be used. Blah 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 blah. So in this episode, we'll continue on offences under the Act. And we'll start from Section 16, tampering with drug. Tampering with drug. Some people tamper with drugs. They adulterate drugs. Any person who unlawfully removes, conceals, destroys, or in any way tampers with the drug popularly known as cocaine, LSD, heroin, or any other similar drug seized from any person or otherwise in the possession of the agency or any authorized person shall be guilty of an offence under this Act and liable on conviction to be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 25 years. Tampering with drugs doesn't have a minimum, but it has a capped maximum, 25 years. So it could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, it could be 10 and a half, it could be 15 and a half, but maximum is what? 25 years. Now let's go to Section 19, unlawful possession of cocaine. Unlawful possession of cocaine, etc. Any person who without lawful authority knowingly possess the drugs popularly known as cocaine, LSD, heroin, or any other similar drug shall be guilty of an offence under this Act and liable on conviction to be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not less than 15 years and not more than 25 years. That is minimum of 15, maximum of 25 for unlawful possession of cocaine, LSD, heroin. Remember that I think in the last audio, I'm sure I made mention of it in the last audio, that under the powers of the Attorney General to issue general policy guidelines and directives, to the agency, some of the drugs, the scope which this law covers has been expounded. And I mentioned a drug then, I think pentazocine. I cannot remember. I think I mentioned it in the last episode. I think I mentioned it in the last episode. So the scope of this drug, these sections, these laws now apply to much more than cocaine, heroin, or LSD. Take note. So, unlawful possession of cocaine, etc. Section 19. Any person who unlawfully possesses without authority the drugs, cocaine, LSD, heroin, much more than that. There are a lot of them, much more than that, from time to time. So, minimum of 15 years if found guilty upon conviction, and maximum of 25 years. That's the provision of Section 19. Section 20. Offences in relation to drug abuse and penalties. 20 subsection 1. Any person who, without lawful authority, the proof of which shall lie on him, commits an offence under the offence, that is to say, A. Engages in production, manufacturing, extraction, preparation, offering for sale, distribution, sale, delivery on any times whatsoever, brokerage, dispatch in transit, transportation, importation or exportation of any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance. B. Engages in cultivation of opium poppy, cannabis, for the purpose of the production of narcotic drug. C. Has in his possession or engages in or purchases any narcotic drug or psychotropic substance. D. Engages in the acquisition, possession, or the use of property, knowing at the time of acquisition, possession, or use of such property was derived from any of the unlawful or illicit trade. E. Engages in the possession of equipment or material or substance listed in second schedule. I think we should go through that. Now, those substances are just substances used in the production, manufacturing, or cultivation of illicit drugs, narcotic drugs, or psychotropic substances. There's a schedule where it is listed. Okay, anybody that any of those equipment are found in their possession, or anybody that engages in the manufacture, transportation, or disposition of such equipment or materials for the use of for the production, manufacturing, distribution of narcotic or psychotropic drugs, engage in the management, organization, or financing of any of those activities. Anybody that engages in the conversion or transfer of property, knowing which he knows fully well to be the proceeds of trading in narcotic or psychotropic drugs. Anybody who conceals or disguises the true nature, source, location, disposition, movement, rights with respect of the owner of the property, which was acquired from trading in psychotropic drugs, such persons shall be liable on conviction to life imprisonment. Okay? Life imprisonment. Life imprisonment. Now, I'm reading subsection 2 now. Here is the penalties for all those things listed now. The penalties for offenses under section 1 of this section in respect of an offense under paragraph A, B, D, E, F, and H. Let's go to paragraph A, B, D, F, and H. A. Engages in the production, manufacturing, extraction, preparation, offering for sale, distribution, sale, delivery, blah, 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 brokerage, dispatch, transit, transportation, importation, and exportation. That's A. B. Engage in cultivation of opium, opium poppy, cannabis plants. D. Engages in the acquisition, possession, or use of a property knowing at the time of the acquisition, possession, or use that the property was derived from proceeds of narcotic or psychotropic substances. E. Engage in the possession of equipment, materials, or substances listed in the second schedule, that are used for the cultivation, production, or manufacturing of narcotic and psychotropic drugs. And then H. Engages in the conversion or transfer of property, knowing that such property is derived from offences under this act, shall be on conviction liable to life imprisonment. Okay, now section 2B. Now, in respect of offences C, G, and I, be imprisoned for not less than 15 to 25 years. So there are some offences under section 20 that upon conviction such a person is liable to life imprisonment. At the same time, there are some under section 21 that are minimum of 15 and maximum of 25 years. Okay, take note. Offenses related to drug abuse and their penalties. Some are life imprisonment, some 15 to 25 years. Okay. Now let's quickly talk about the powers of the Federal High Court to make consequential orders quickly. Now, okay, still under section 20, subsection 3 says, the Federal High Court, before whom an accused is being convicted, may, in addition to the punishment described, make an order requiring an offender to undergo measures such as treatment, education, aftercare, rehabilitation, and social integration. Okay, that's just it. Notwithstanding subsection 2 and 3, the Federal High Court, before whom a minor is being convicted, it's amazing that even minors abuse drug in this country. Okay, ordinarily minors should not appear before a regular court, but being a special circumstance, is a drug-related offense, and so they have no other choice but to appear before the designated court for that offense. But generally, minors should not appear before regular courts. Okay, now the Federal High Court, before whom a minor is being convicted, may in an appropriate case make an order as the circumstance may determine. A. Either as an alternative to conviction or punishment. B. For treatment, education, aftercare, rehabilitation, social integration of the minor. Okay, it's disheartening that minors also they are also heavily engaged in drug abuse. Now let's talk about what constitutes exportation. Section 21 of the Act. What constitutes exportation? Section 21, subsection 1. A person shall be deemed to have exported a narcotic or psychotropic substance if he brings to or deposits this substance, whether narcotic or psychotropic, at any time to any custom area, custom station, custom airport, custom port, or any other point, any other custom point generally. Okay? The person shall be deemed to have exported a narcotic drug if he brings to or deposits such a substance from, say, One, or maybe say Apapa port, maybe via the sea, via shipping to maybe another port somewhere in maybe Ghana, Tema. I think Tema is in Ghana. Okay, so it's a custom port, custom area, custom station. A custom is another agency, especially design is another Nigerian agency. Okay, so where a person moves is a narcotic or psychotropic drug from a custom port or custom area or custom station to another, he is deemed to have exported a narcotic or psychotropic substance under section 21 subsection 1. Okay, section 21(2). A person shall be deemed to commit an offense under this act if A. He actually does the act which constitutes the offense, or B. He does or omits to do an act for the purpose of enabling or aiding another person to commit the offense. B. He aids another person in committing the offense. D. He counsels or procures any other person in committing the offense. And C. He counsels or procures any other person to commit the offense, in which case he himself may be charged with committing the offense or with counseling or procuring the commission of the offense. Okay, so where a person commits the offense, he himself, he has committed the offense. Where he does an act or fails to do an act that enables someone to commit the offense, he is deemed to have committed the offense. Where he aids another person in committing the offense, he is deemed to have committed the offense. Where he counsels or procures or advises someone to commit the offense, he is deemed to have committed the offense. All right. Now, 21 subsection 3. A person convicted of counseling or procuring the commission of an offense under this act shall be liable to the same punishment as is prescribed under the act for the commission of the offense. So, if you procure or counsel, you are still liable to committing. You are as liable as the person who committed the offense itself. Okay. Don't commit any drug-related offense. Don't procure anybody to commit any offense. Don't counsel or advise anybody to commit any drug-related offense. Take note. So we already discussed what constitutes exportation. Once you move a drug from a custom area, custom port, or custom station, or custom airport to another airport, custom area, or custom port, you are deemed to have exported. Okay, exported a narcotic or psychotropic substance under section 21 subsection 1 of the act. Now, offense of exportation of narcotic drugs, section 22. Any person whose journey originates from Nigeria without being detected of carrying prohibited narcotic or psychotropic drugs, but is found to have imported such prohibited narcotic or psychotropic drugs into a foreign country, notwithstanding that such a person has been tried or convicted for any offense of unlawful importation or possession of such narcotic drugs or psychotropic substances in that foreign country, shall be guilty of an offense for exportation of narcotic drug or psychotropic substances in Nigeria under this section. That is to say, where a person exports narcotic or psychotropic drugs from Nigeria, say to the United Kingdom, but it was undetected, it wasn't caught in Nigeria. If he's caught in the United Kingdom, tried, found guilty, and convicted, he's still guilty for exportation in Nigeria. Okay? That's what section 22, subsection 1 of the Act provides. Let me read it again. Any person whose journey originates from Nigeria, without being detected of carrying prohibited narcotic or psychotropic drugs, but is found to have imported such drugs, narcotic or psychotropic substances, into a foreign country, notwithstanding that such person has been tried or convicted for that offense for the offense of unlawful importation or possession of such narcotic or psychotropic substances in that foreign country, such a person shall be guilty of an offense of exportation of such substance under this section. Now, this section, there's something called the principle of double jeopardy in law. A person cannot be tried twice for the same offense. Question: does this section violate that principle? Okay, so let's move on. Section 22, subsection 1. Let's move on to subsection 2. 22, subsection 2 says, any Nigerian citizen found guilty in any foreign country of an offense involving narcotic or psychotropic substances, and who thereby brings the name of Nigeria into disrepute, shall be guilty of an offense under this section. So, this 22, subsection 2 criminalizes bringing the name of Nigeria into disrepute in the foreign scene, on the foreign scene, or in the international society or community. It says, any Nigerian citizen found guilty in any foreign country of an offense involving narcotic drugs or psychotropic drug substances, and who thereby brings the name of Nigeria into disrepute, shall be guilty of an offense under this subsection. 3. Any person, 22 subsection 3, any person convicted of an offense under subsection 1 and 2 shall be liable to imprisonment for a term of 5 years without an option of fine, and his asset and property shall be liable to forfeiture as provided under the Act. We should be able to discuss the guidelines on forfeiture of asset or property. So, subsection 3 is saying anybody that brings Nigeria's name to disrepute by committing a drug-related offense is liable to a minimum of 5 years upon conviction. Okay? And anybody who was found guilty of an offense outside of Nigeria, he trafficked, he exported drugs to, say, the United Kingdom. He wasn't caught in Nigeria, but he was caught, tried, and found guilty. Okay, when he comes back to Nigeria, we still do 5 years if found guilty. That's what this section is. Section 22, subsection 3 provides. Okay, so now let's talk about attempts. Section 23, attempts. Section 23, subsection 1. Where a person is charged with an offense under this Act, the evidence establishes an attempt to commit the offense. He may be convicted of having attempted to commit the offense, although the attempt is not separately charged, and such a person shall be punished as he appropriately prescribed. Some people don't actually fully commit a crime, they only attempt to. Okay. 23, subsection 2. Where a person is charged with an attempt to commit an offense under this Act, but the evidence establishes the commission of the full offense, the offender shall not be entitled to acquittal, but shall be convicted of the offense and punished under the Act. Some people attempt and they commit the offense. Okay, so those who attempt the offense and the evidence only establishes an attempt, they shall be dealt with according to the Act. Those who are charged with an attempt but the evidence establishing committing the act, they shall be charged and dealt with according to the Act. Now, offenses by corporate bodies, very, very important. Some people disguise other companies to traffic drug, narcotic and psychotropic substances. So, offenses by corporate bodies, section 24. Now, 24 subsection 1 now. Where an offense under this Act has been committed by a body corporate. What's a body corporate? A body corporate is an entity that is recognized under the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that is under the Necessary Companies and Allied Matters Act, maybe a registered company. Okay? It has a perpetual succession. That's a body corporate. It's an artificial entity recognized by law. That's a body corporate. Okay? So, body corporate. 24.1. Where an offense under this Act has been committed by a body corporate, maybe a company or an artificial entity, and it is proved to have been committed on the instigation or with the connivance or attributable to any neglect on the part of a director, manager, secretary, or other similar officer of the body corporate, or any person purporting to act in any such capacity, he, as well as the body corporate, where practicable, shall be deemed to be guilty of that offense and shall be liable to proceed against and punished accordingly. You know, some people create NGOs to traffic drug. It's disheartening. Some people create non-governmental organizations. Normally, the goal of non-governmental organization is to help achieve a particular societal good or purpose, you know. But some people create such NGOs to traffic drugs. Some people even use them to traffic humans. When we get to the NAPTIP Act, we'll discuss that. National, you know, prevention against National Agency for the Prevention of Trafficking in Persons. Some people traffic human beings to human trafficking. Okay, but this one, there are some companies that traffic drugs. They deal in narcotic and psychotropic substances. Okay, so this section says where an offense is committed under by a body corporate with the connivance or where such an offense is attributable to any director, manager, or secretary, or any other officer, both the director as well as the body corporate itself shall be liable and be proceeded against. That's 24 subsection 1. Subsection 2. Where a body corporate is convicted of an offense under this act, the Federal High Court may order that the body corporate shall thereupon and without any further assurance, but for such order be wound up and all his assets and properties forfeited to the federal government. So, where a body corporate is convicted of, trafficking drugs, exporting drugs, manufacturing or producing drugs, or any of the offenses under the Act, the Federal High Court may order, that's the word now, that such company be wound up, be deregistered, and its assets forfeited to the government. Take note. Okay? Take note. Take note. Let's round up this session here. Let's round up this session here. Okay. In the next episode, we'll continue from section 25, commercial carriers, and we'll continue discussing the offenses under the Act. Thank you very much for staying tuned to this very section, to the end of this section. We really appreciate your time and your effort. See you in the next episode. Thank you.